So hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel everyone, and today we are back with another educational video for all of you. And today we are going to continue our derivative series. We have already covered 2 sessions in this series. If you have not watched them, then go to our channel and watch those 2 sessions before going ahead with this one, because that session will create a base of the derivatives for you. So we have talked about the what is derivatives, why derivatives were created, what is their purpose, what are their uses, and difference between the OTC and the exchange traded derivatives, what are the differences between them. We have also talked about the problems associated with the derivatives. We have talked about the contingent claims versus forward commitments, and then we have finally concluded that there are majorly 4 class of derivatives, named as forwards, futures, options, and financial swaps. So in this session, the session number 3, what we are going to do is we are going to pick the first type of derivative, which is the most basic form, forwards, and we are going to conquer it completely. We are going to see thoroughly that what are the forwards, so that you will be very clear in your mind. So now nowadays the normal derivatives that everybody come across is futures and the options. But the thing is that to understand everything, the base of everything is very important to trade better in the options and the futures. Okay, so let's start with the forwards. So forwards are the most basic derivative contract. And now what is a forward? As the name suggests, forward, that is going to happen. Something is, I'm looking forward to it. It means that I will be doing this, I will be looking at it in the future, and that the forward is something that is going to happen in the future. That's the forward word suggest, and it is the most basic form of a derivative. If I want to sell something and if you want to buy something, we can come into a contract and we can do the buying selling right now. Or the second thing is that we can do a forward contract. I am telling you that I'll sell you my rice after 3 months, and you are saying that I'll buy your rice after 3 months. So that is a forward contract. Now that's what we call forwards are. So let's take an example to understand what are the forwards better. So here we have an example of Mr. A and Mr. B. So Mr. A and Mr. B entering into a 3-month forward contract on the stock of ICICI Bank at a price of 310. A has a long position while B has a short position. So what does this mean is that Mr. A is saying that I will buy ICICI Bank stock from you. He is saying to Mr. B, Mr. A is saying to Mr. B that I will buy ICICI Bank stock from you after 3 months at 310 rupees. And Mr. B is saying that okay, I will sell the ICICI Bank stock to you after 3 months at 310 rupees. Now here is the thing, that it is not necessary that Mr. B must have that ICICI Bank stock today. It is not necessary. If Mr. B does not have the ICICI stock today, it is not a problem. He can buy that from the market after 3 months and he can give it to the Mr. A after 3 months. That is not necessary for Mr. B to have that stock right now. So A has a long position. Long position means A wants to buy, and Mr. B has a short position, means Mr. B wants to sell. So this is the long and the short position mean, and also known as the A has a bullish sentiment and Mr. B has a bearish sentiment as he is selling the stock. So now let's interpret both positions. So Mr. A has 3-month forward at 310 rupees, and he said that I will buy the ICICI Bank stock at 310 after 3 months. So he entered into upside betting. So now what is upside betting? Mr. A wants that the share price of the ICICI Bank must rise, because he has contracted that I will buy at 310. Whatever the rates are prevailing in the market, whatever the price is in the market, it's on you, it's on Mr. B. I don't have anything to do with that. I will buy the stock of ICICI Bank at 310 from you. I have contracted, so I am into an upside betting. Why Mr. A must have entered into this kind of contract? Because Mr. A must be thinking or must have analyzed the stock of ICICI Bank, and he must realized that okay, the charts or the fundamentals of the ICICI Bank are showing that the prices will rise. The prices will go above 310. Mr. A has that into his mind. That's why he is entering into that kind of forward contract. He is thinking that okay, I will buy at 310 after 3 months. No issue. and my predictions are that the prices in the market of ICICI Bank will be more than 310. So what I will do, I will take the stock from Mr. B at 310 and I will sell it in the market at above 310. So that's what Mr. A is thinking. Now Mr. B has short sell the forward, or he has said that I will sell the share of the ICICI Bank at 310 after 3 months. So why he has entered into this kind of contract? Because he is thinking that the prices of the ICICI Bank will fall. So I will sell at 310 rupees. Okay, and I will buy. If I don't have it right now, then I will buy from the market at 290 rupees and I will sell at the 310 rupees to earn a profit of 20 rupees. So now, as we have talked earlier also, that there are three purposes of derivatives. First is speculation, hedging and arbitraging. So these both are entering into a contract and they both are speculators. They don't have to do anything. They have just predicted that the share price will rise or fall, and based on that they are taking a trade. So they both are speculators, and that's why I have told you to watch the previous sessions before going ahead with this videos, because these terms are broadly described in our previous sessions. So these both are speculators. Now there may be other reason like hedging. How Mr. A 4 years ago must have bought the ICICI Bank's stock. Okay, and right now the prices of the ICICI Bank is at 315 rupees or 316 rupees, but he doesn't want to sell the stock right now because of any reason. He doesn't want to sell his stock right now. Okay, we are talking about Mr. B. He doesn't want to sell his stock right now, whatever the reason is, but he doesn't want to sell his share below 310 because he has waited for 4 years. So now he wants some return. So he doesn't want to sell stock below 310 rupees. So what he is doing, he is hedging himself. He is hedging at 310 rupees, that whatever happens in the market, if price rises, no issues, I will get 310. If prices falls, no issues, I will still sell at 310 rupees. And might be Mr. A is hedging himself, or he is still a speculator, and that's why he's entering into this kind of trade. So these are the two purposes that can be there in the market, that can be with them. That's why they are taking this trade. So now let's see what happens after 3 months. So what happens after 3 months is that the spot price of the ICICI Bank is prevailing in the market at 350 rupees. So now who won? Mr. A has won this trade, because he will now buy the stock from Mr. B at 310 rupees, and the prices in the market of this stock is 350 rupees. So he has earned 40 rupees directly. And what happened with Mr. B is that now he has to buy the stock from the market at 350 rupees, and then he has to give it to the Mr. A at 310 rupees. So he has lost the bet. He has lost the contract. He lost 40 rupees. Or might be Mr. B, who was in our second scenario, was a hedger. Now he'll be thinking that, oh my god, if I would not have entered that trade, I would have sold this stock at 350 rupees now after 3 months. But now what can he do? He can literally do nothing. Now he have to suffer the loss of 40 rupees. Either if he is a speculator, then that is a straight loss of 40 rupees. And if he was a hedger, then we can't say it's a loss of 40 rupees, but he has hedged himself and he has limited his profit. So now what will happen? So there is two methods for this contract to get settled. Method number one, physical settlement, that is payment and delivery. This means the A will pay 310 to B and will take the share. So this is the first method, which is very normal, you all know. And the second method is a cash settlement, also known as a non-deliverable forwards or contract for differences. A will simply receive 40 rupees from B. Mr. B will say that, okay, let's do one thing. I am not buying the stock from the market and not giving it to you. Better I'll give you 40 rupees and you can still enjoy your profit. So these are the two different methods. First is physical settlement and second is the cash settlement. So these are the forward contracts. That's how forward contracts works, and these are the very basic form of contract. And forward contracts are over the counter OTC contracts, and they are forward commitments. Okay, they are not contingent claim, they are not exchange traded, they are over the counter or OTC derivatives, and they are forward commitments. So also that's how we are going to integrate everything as moving forward, whatever the basic knowledge we have gained till now, we will be integrating all of that knowledge together. So we have learned everything about the forward, and forwards are OTC derivatives, and second thing is that they are forward commitments. Now there is always problem with something. So there are two major problem with forwards. That first is lack of liquidity, which is consistent with the problem of the OTC derivatives. There is a lack of liquidity because OTC derivatives are not trading on the exchange. They are not trading on the NSE or on the BSE. You can't open your demat account and buy or sell the forward contract, this kind of forward contract OTCs. What you have to do is you have to go any market creator, like SBI Bank is a market creator who creates market for the OTC, or you have to go some other personal individual who has created market for the forward contracts, and you have to go and sell them if you want to square off your position earlier. Like what happened in the exchange traded things, if you have the stock and it is trading on the exchange, if you see the prices are falling or rising, you can simply sell and book your profit and came out of it. But in the forward contract, the problem is that if you are seeing that you are getting into the loss, still there will be no one to whom you can sell your position off. You have to keep it position and have your position, and you have to suffer full loss. Even if you have realized that you have made a mistake, still you have to be there in the trade till last. So that this is the very first problem with the forward contract, they lack liquidity. And the second is counterparty default risk. Might be you and me are coming in trade, and if I have lost the trade, I will say no, I am not paying you anything. I can just simply go away from my promise or my contract. So yeah, it is illegal. You can sue me, definitely you can sue me, you can take the legal help with that. But the thing is that even if you'll take the legal help, it will take a lot of time in all the processes and all the hearings. So and if you are a trader, if you are trading the market, what you want is that you have taken a trade, profit has been booked, and now you want your profit and you just want to go home and sleep. But in the forward contract, that is the problem with the counterparty defaults. If something that kind of scenario happens, then you also have to suffer. Even if you have won the bet, then also you have to sue him and you have to fight the legal battle with him. Then only you can gain this kind of return. But one other thing is that forward contract, the market of the forwards, it's too big. It's too big comparative to the other exchange traded derivatives. And the market for the forwards is big, and only big players come into the forward contract. If you'll go to the ICICI Bank and you will say that I want to short sell any stock or any commodity, and I want to come into a forward contract with you, then they will not allow you. They will not let you do that. Only big players in the market are allowed to do that, because counterparty default risk is a problem, and that is the reason that not all people are allowed in the forward market. That's why the liquidity is lacking in those markets. And these are the two major problems with the forward contract. So with that, we have completed our first kind of derivative, which is a forward contract. I hope you have understood everything, and I would recommend all of you to watch all the series from session 1 to session 2 and then session 3 to better understand each and everything that has been communicated till now. And in the next session, we will continue with our second form of derivative contract. So till then, like this video, do subscribe our channel and share this video with your friends and family, and don't forget to press the bell icon, because we are uploading daily educational videos as well as market analysis videos. So don't miss out on anything. Be updated in the market and keep learning. So thank you so much for watching this video, everyone.